Good morning, Destiny players, and welcome to a guide to the new Warlord's Ruined Dungeon in Season of the Wish. All encounters for you in this video. I am Bladebreaker, your local Halo Simon Fortnite guy, and don't forget to do the algorithm goodies. Now, without further ado, let's just get right into the video. To cut right to it, let's start with the first encounter against a Scorn Captain boss, Rethil. Very simple. Adds will spawn that don't take much to kill. After a bit, the boss will throw out one of those Scorn Captain things, but this one looks all taken. When it gets thrown out, a timer called Imminent Wish starts. You then get teleported into small cages where you'll get lifted up. You need to shoot 3 Acolyte eyes around your cage to open the door. If you don't, you die. When landing, the boss will have thrown out a second one of the taken captain things. All you have to do is stand inside them for 10 seconds. When they turn blue, that's your cue. If the 30-second Imminent Wish timer runs out before you trigger even one of the taken Scorn Captain things, the encounter restarts. When one or both turn blue, the damage begins. You get a buff named Naeem's Wish Empowerment that lets you deal damage to the boss that lasts an amount of time based on how many of these Scorn taken captain things you activated. After the damage phase, you rinse and repeat until the boss is dead. Very simple. For loadout recommendations, we use a Cenotaph well, and my friends use LMGs and LFRs. I hear Lament is good too, and Celestial. This boss isn't too hard, so loadouts aren't really too strict. Now, let's get to the second encounter, the Jail Cell. When you beat the first boss, you're teleported to Horny Jail. Each player is put in a different cell. Each player can look around to see 2 wheels. Shooting them once makes them turn counterclockwise. Shooting them again stops them, and shooting a third time makes them go clockwise. To solve the encounter, 2 players have skeletons near their cells or in their cells. One player will have red slashes, and the other player will have white slashes. It's really simple. Red slashes means turn them counterclockwise. White slashes means clockwise. The third player without a skeleton shoots the lock, and you're broken free from Horny Jail. Congrats! Go get some tissues and Google Bowsette. You got this, champ. For the third encounter and second boss, things get a bit more complex. To start the encounter, you shoot the Taken ball sack in the middle. The ogre boss spawns there. When the encounter starts, Taken are summoned with 2 mini-boss Minotaurs. They don't add anything to encounter, they're just really annoying during DPS. Not too long after, several Acolyte eyes are spawned around the ogre. Breaking them moves the encounter forward. A blizzard then sets in that will give you the biting cold debuff the longer you stand in it, but torches along the outer wall remove the debuff. At the same time, large Scorn Captains spawn in. Like the first encounter, they will throw down a Taken Scorn Captain thingy and drop one when they die. You have the same 30-second Imminent Wish timer to kill them and stand at the radius of the Taken Scorn Captain thingies. Activating them doesn't start the DPS phase, but instead spawns in solar balls and bowls in the center. To start the DPS phase, simply carry them to 4 bonfires around the boss. When the 4th is dunked, damage begins. You get the same Naeem's Wish Empowerment buff from the first encounter to do DPS in one circle. If you all leave the circle, the buff ends and you must go to the new circle. Like Callus from the old Leviathan raid, you rotate bonfires to DPS the boss. When the buff runs out, you move to the next bonfire. When all 4 are out, the encounter resets for you to do it again. Rinse and repeat until the boss is dead. Loot drops at the back of the arena and you can move on to the final boss. The final boss is the culmination of all the mechanics. I would highly recommend rocking Void Resist for this as the boss hits like a truck. Even with 100 resilience, you're still 3-shot. To start the encounter, break the Taken ball sack in the center. The boss spawns and summons adds. After a bit, the boss spawns Acolyte eyes around it. Breaking those starts the 30-second Imminent Wish timer again and spawns in Scorn Captains that throw out the Taken Scorn Captain thingies. As usual, killing them drops another. You also are given a Maddening Vengeance debuff which kills you when it runs to 0. To get rid of this debuff, you melee a Scorn Wraith that spawns to transfer this debuff. If the Wraith melees you after you transfer it to the Wraith, it transfers back to you. Once one has a debuff, other players cannot transfer to that same one. When one or more of the Taken Scorn Captain thingies are activated and the debuff kills the Wraiths, damage begins. You get the same damage wish buff as all encounters, Naeem's Wish Empowerment, with a timer that lasts longer the more Taken Scorn Captain thingies you activate. During damage, you can go past the lighter section of the health bar. The lighter health bar must be broken to move the boss to the next level of the arena. Rinse and repeat this. When you move him past the 3rd level, it's just damage. As he sits there, he summons more blighted eyes. If one side gets filled with eyes, he moves to the next platform. Don't let the eyes fill on one side of him. Sunshot is really good for this part. One player does Sunshot while the other 2 players deal damage. When a side is filled with eyes, he moves to the next stage, or after about 30 seconds pass, he moves it. After 3 stages of this phase, you're teleported to the bottom to reset the encounter. Rinse and repeat until the boss gets a final chunk of health. When he does, you're teleported to a new stage where the boss will enter Final Stand. There doesn't appear to be a time limit here, so you can just damage to your heart's content until the boss is dead. You get your loot, you win, and that is all. An easy guide on the Warlord's Ruin. If you like this guide, a rating would be appreciated unless it's a dislike. Thank you all for watching, and good luck getting the exotic. See you all on the next one. Blade Burger out.